announce very shortly. Right now, though, we need to catch you up on the local weather forecast for the listening area. Current temperature here from the WPAQ Weather Center is 89 degrees. This afternoon, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, but only a 20% chance, and otherwise mostly sunny and a high of 88. Tonight, chance of showers and thunderstorms, but once again only a 30% chance with new rainfall amounts of less than 1/10 of an inch expected. And for Friday, sunny with a high near 88 and an overnight low of 66. Sunny and hot for Saturday with a high near 91 degrees and an overnight low of 69. And Sunday rounding off the weekend with mostly sunny and hot conditions and a high near 92 degrees. So that is a quick look at the area weather forecast, and we'll be back with Travis Frye along with Tim Frye, our own Tim Frye, right here live in the control room, and we're going to play some music from Travis Frye and Blue Mountain right after this.
The impact of Alzheimer's.
I wanted to write those things down before I forget them, so don't screw that up. Right before the obituaries, the fax machine decided to jam 3 times. And then all the things from the school board came in, like 3 different ones. Okay.
Which probably got tracked. I'll be using them up.
And to raise critically needed funds for Alzheimer's research and local support
Oh, Hoboken.
Don't worry.
You have a list?
Don't worry, I got you.
Okay.
He's in radio.
Yeah.
We'll gab your. You won't have to ask me any questions. Trust us.
At Riverside Park. Registration opens at 9 a.m.
I just want to be sure we don't forget something.
Coffee, my breath probably bad.
You can register
Oh,
online
sweet.
today at
The snooze went off.
/Walt. That's
I hit the alarm that hits me.
/Walt. Let's turn Mount Airy into a sea of purple and help fight Alzheimer's at the Walk to End Alzheimer's, Saturday, September 7th at Riverside Park, right here in Mount Airy.
And welcome back, folks. We are live with our special guests, folks that are no strangers to WPAQ. Tim, you look like you need a nap. You just got off the air.
I just woke up from a nap. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I guess we didn't have to tell everybody, but
We'll wake him up.
we will. We'll wake him up with some new music from Travis Frye and Blue Mountain, and he's got an extra large cup of coffee.
I got coffee.
He'll be awake. Here with our special guests, Travis and Tim Frye, and we may be joined by John in a little bit, and we're going to talk and hear some music from the brand new release from Travis Frye and Blue Mountain, Emanating Tradition. Well, Travis, Tim, tell us about your brand new release.
Yeah, we kind of went with a different approach to this third album. Our first 2 albums that we had done were based a lot on mine and Dad's writings, and we still wanted to feature that in the third album. But one of the main things that we wanted to focus on was the traditional aspect of bluegrass music, as it's kind of, just in a personal opinion, been kind of diluted over the years. We wanted to really pay tribute to some of the artists that have come through WPAQ, that have been on WBRF, that have come through all the different radios from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and try to capture that once again using newer technology. So we tried to keep everything as close as we could to what we heard through the original press recordings, such as Jimmy Martin's tunes and Osborne Brother tunes. Some of them have been played quite a bit, but then we went into the country side of things and turned some country songs into bluegrass as well. We love doing that. That's one of our favorite things to do. So this album is a culmination of kind of emanating that tradition that Ralph Epperson always set out for WPAQ.
And it's called Emanating Tradition.
Exactly.
And I do, let's see, tell us about who all's on the CD, and then we'll hear a selection.
Okay, well first I want to definitely give a kudos, because I know she's listening, to our graphic designer. What we did is we asked Kelly Epperson and the Epperson family if we could use the pictures from early recordings of the merry-go-round pictures that were taken at the Wpaq Theater when the merry-go-round first started in the 1940s, late 1940s, and then also here in Studio A. We wanted to really capture that and kind of be a reflection of our upbringing. And Mallory Smith, who was our graphic artist, they own Pear Tree Studios here in Mount Airy. Her and her sister, who are twins. You have to make sure you're talking to the right one, because you never know which one you're talking to if they wear the same clothes. But anyway, Mallory Smith helped us a lot in creating that vision, and I think it really came out great. Now, for the band members, Tim, my dad, of course, he always says we look like brothers. And a lot of people, he says that so much, I think people are believing it now. He just looks that good, or I look that bad. I keep using that because it's a true phrase. I'm telling you, I don't know how that worked, but anyway, people will come up to me. In fact, we were at the Blue Ridge Music Center 2 weeks ago watching the Steel Wheels, and somebody came up to me and said, "Ain't you Tim's brother?" And I said, "Oh no."
Tim don't have any brothers.
Tim don't have any brothers, and neither do I. So I was just taken back. But anyway, Tim does all the lead singing, most of the lead singing, and plays the mandolin, and then of course me on the guitar doing most of the tenor work. We've been very blessed to find baritone singers. Henry Mabe is our fiddle player, awesome baritone singer, and then Danny Bowers. He can sing any part we need him to, so if one of us is sick, Danny goes right on and fills in and has got a mean lick to the 5. He's got the drive to the 5. We always say that in the shows. And then, of course, John Ferris, who keeps that steady beat and keeps us rock steady on the timing. He's just been a wonderful addition. In fact, we were going to have John here today, but he's working out in the hot sun, and he works at Pilot Mechanical. He's the owner and operator there. So, John, I know you're listening on your radio. I'm sorry, bud.
Well, he's here in spirit, I'm sure. And also, Danny placed in 4th in the Bluegrass Banjo competition in last week's GALAC's 84th annual Old Fiddlers. So he's an outstanding musician, and everybody in your group is definitely outstanding, that's for sure. So why don't you tell us what we're going to hear first? We're going to do the first selection.
This is always a lovely song to kick off the program with. It's really fast, it's really upbeat, but you know, it's just, well, it's just kind of mean, ain't it? We'll start out with a mean one, I guess, but this is an upbeat one that we kind of enjoy playing. It's kind of humorous, entitled "You Can Have Her." It is on WPAQ's YouTube.
Good.
Sam thought it might have been on his, but it's on PAQ's. I let you talk next. Well, yeah, you talk next because it's about your song list.
So what do you think next?
Well, after that, I just talked about what the band's been up to. You know, we've been going 10 years. Our 10-year anniversary was last December. We had a big concert at the Earl where we had all of our members come back.
What about our song we're going to do next? So I can have it ready.
That way I can transition in. Dad has never missed a show, ever, in 10 years. And doing a lot of the lead singing, he has to memorize a lot of the songs. And what's good about it is he writes a lot of them, so you don't know if he messes up or not.
You can rewrite them right on the fly. So you want to do from the bottom looking at next?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And it'd be good to do Danny's because most of the instrumentals do get played because a lot of them are old time. So having a bluegrass instrumental is on. If that's it.
Yeah.
We definitely want to do
I've played it a couple of times. Like I said, when you play so much old time instrumental, it's hard to work in a bluegrass.
Yeah.
You heard that Tall Fiddler by Michael Cleveland?
Yeah.
Oh my
Very
goodness.
good.
With Tommy Emmanuel? Oh my goodness.
That's very good.
Oh my goodness.
Of course, Michael was at the Blue Ridge Music Center a couple of weeks ago too.
Michael.
Cleveland. Is Rick playing this weekend? Rick's playing with us. I don't know. What was it he said to me one time? He said that's the scariest he'd ever been the first time. He said, I play rock. But he got a hang of it really good. He did a lot of shows with us. In fact, he did about 5 or 6 shows with us. Did the kids like their origami?
They've been going to town on that. So
I didn't realize the planes needed glue. If I'd known that, I don't know.
no, they did good. They did good with them. They did real good with them. They made a bunch of them.
I'll swing it to you.
All right, you can have her. They're from Travis Frye and Blue Mountain. You're listening to the afternoon show, and here we are live with our own Tim Frye. Now I can say our own Travis Frye again.
We're going to be in trouble.
Why is that?
Because you can have her, boy, that's a great way to start off, isn't it? I'm thinking our wives are listening in, boy, that might be dangerous.
Mine would definitely agree with that.
I know she's sitting out in the lobby. That's why I kept looking back there. I was like,
I can go out the back door.
There you go.
So, go ahead, Travis.
Oh, I was just going to brag on Dad real quick. He is he's done a lot for us over the years, and we've played under every shade tree and wedding and but we've had the pleasure of playing at other places as well. All of it's been enjoyable. All of it's created great memories because when you have your dad there, it's something that you can always remember. When time passes, you can look back and enjoy those things. But I can say that we've been a band for 10 years. I kind of took Dad from the Carolina Travelers once I got my band started up, and luckily he agreed, and it's been really great. But he has never missed a show in 10 years, and that is incredible. I know of one other person that has gone longer than 10 years and never missed a show, but I tell you, he's been really great and very dependable. Even when we were sick, we've had the flu, we've been on stage, but we didn't shake any hands. We've been to the point, where our back, you've had a pinched nerve and other things, you've went through it. But the good thing I will say though is, we've always kept it light and we've always kept it family oriented. But I think the most important thing is we've had fun. If you can't have fun in bluegrass, the crowd's going to know that. They're going to know you're not having a good time, and they're going to see it. So I'll let Dad talk. He's good at talking, and you can tell them about some of the songs that we did, and one of them in particular, being the next one I think Jennie's going to play in just a bit, is From the Bottom Looking Up. It sounds so sad, but it's another quarter time beat. It's upbeat.
Yeah. And we are getting a lot of requests for it. So.
That's good.
Tell us a little bit about that, Tim.
All right, The Bottom Looking Up. Well, the song, I've had it written for several years. Just never did anything with it. And was coming back from Denton one night. Was down there at, I think, the Doyle Lawson Festival. I don't think it was the fall festival they had. It was the Doyle Lawson Festival. For some reason, my wife Cheryl always goes with me if she can, but for some reason she couldn't go. And I was by myself, and I was driving home, and it just came to me. I didn't have the radio on. Sometimes you hear so much music, that you want a little peace and quiet. And it just came to me, and I just started speaking it into my phone. And then before I got, way before I got to Winston-Salem, I had it written. And so I just filed it away, and then when we want to do this CD, I said, well guys, I got a song you may want to do and you may not, and it's called From the Bottom Looking Up. It just came to me. I think if you live long enough and you own your own business, as you do, Jennie, you go through times, especially if you own your own business, where you either got plenty of money or you're broke. There's no in between if you own your own business. You
sink or swim.
That's right. If you got your own, I had your record shop for about 10 years. And own some other businesses too. And during that time, you either have money or you don't have anything. And there was only a brief period where I think I've been unemployed in all my life. I think I've been unemployed for about 6 weeks. And it was from Thanksgiving to the first of the year. And I had another job that was going to come up, but it was the first of the year. So what a time to be unemployed, Christmas, you know? But anyway, so hard times, you go through hard times. Now I thought, this is about a fella that's going through hard times and just doesn't see that it's going to get much better. So, but it will.
So not necessarily a true story for you, but a lot of folks out there having hard times. And I think maybe that's why it just resonates with people, because a lot of people have experienced this song.
Well, there's been times I've had some really hard times, but Lord always brings you back to it. There's a reason for all of it, but this is about one of those times when you just don't know how you're going to get better, and so that's what this song's about.
And this is actually one that features Danny Bowers on the baritone. It's the first time we incorporated Danny into a song, and I think you'll see he fit right in.
Okay, and right now here's From the Bottom, Looking Up.
If you don't like it, give it to Big Country.
Yeah. Tommy Sales, where you at, buddy? You need to record
There you
this
go, Tommy.
thing.
There's your next big hit.
He wants a copy of that CD. He's thinking about it.
Good old Eddie.
I can hear Eddie singing. Eddie do a good job on that.
Reminds you a lot of Jimmy Martin, though. It's got that foggy old London kind of sound to it.
I like it.
Tune's different,
The
but
tune's different, but it's the same kind of...
you can hear Jimmy Martin singing
Yeah.
that too. We need Eddie Gill to sing that song. You just go ahead and Tommy Sales need to cut it, because the money's just rolling in.
I can't see tens. So.
Tens of dollars.
He's going to have to
You're
move
gonna
our
have to
camera,
scoot in.
sorry.
Oh, he's going to have to move us?
No. Oops, sorry.
Hello, everyone out there. I don't have on shoes because I lost my shoes somewhere between here and there.
Oh.
Hopefully they can't see that.
I thought I smelled something. Just kidding.
We're just having a stinking good time.
Okay, perfect.
We knew musicians that do that. That makes them comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, I
Perfect.
left without mine. So, got here with none.
You walked in without shoes?
Yes.
Oh, bless your heart.
From the bottom looking up. It can only get better from here.
And that Dollar General popped in real good, because there's a Dollar General between.
Really?
There's a Dollar General between everywhere.
Yeah, between Denton and Lexington, there's a Dollar General up through there, and so they just that pop. That's why I use that.
Now I got both of them.
Huh?
Now I got both.
Oh man,
There we
you
go.
don't need. You don't.
We're doing good, yeah.
Hold that up.
It's better with just Travis.
No. One,
Smile, Dad.
two.
Got Uncle Henry on the bag.
Yeah, a lady came up to Henry the other day
And said, "Is that you?"
No, she goes, "Well, Henry, I didn't see you on this CD." He said, "Well, I'm on there. Look on the inside." She said, "Well, I ain't bought it yet." she couldn't see him, so she didn't know to buy it.
Yeah.
I said, "Well, we're just gonna have to make Henry front page next time."
Next
Put him
time
right
we'll
center.
just put him in the center and the rest of us around him. That's a,
Floyd and Faye
uh-huh.
for Saturday. I almost forgot to tell you. Fiddlefest. Floyd and Faye.
Add them to the
Yes.
list. Okay.
I forgot almost. Should I write
So we
that?
only got we
Okay.
only got one more
Okay.
set
One
to give
more
away.
set to give away.
And Jenny, tell us when to hush up, because I'll hush up.
We can talk through the 5:30 news if you want to.
We won't discuss that. We're on YouTube.
No, we're not. Now everybody will be wanting to
Y'all are
tune
going
in.
to learn a lot about what happens behind the scenes here at WPAQ.
We're still.
I know.
And we're still alive.
Well, hey,
We're still alive.
As it is,
and
we're
I
all
do drink a lot of
downhill.
coffee.
It's all downhill from here, but y'all are driving home, so
Have
y'all
you-
shouldn't be on YouTube looking.
Have you decided what? Are you going to tell me what to play next?
We'll just go to Danny's after.
Okay. Oh yeah, you told me that. I forgot. From the bottom looking up. That's from Travis Frye and Blue Mountain, their brand new release, Emanating Tradition. And we do want to tell folks this. Of course, we know Tim is peddling the CD out of his car. He's selling it everywhere.
I think that's what all bluegrass musicians are doing these days.
Any vehicle you have becomes a bus. You know that.
I got it. Well, that's some on the bus.
And also you can pick it up at Old Mill Music. And who else has your CD, or where else do you have it for sale?
Down in Germantown at Little Creek, they have those for sale. And that's at a restaurant down there right as you go through the heart of Germantown. And we're going to be getting it out in some other locations. You can actually get it just by Facebook messaging us. That's the easiest way to get in touch with us. Just Facebook message us and we can send it directly to your door via mail. That's the best way. We're old fashioned. I've done it on iTunes and CD Baby and stuff like that. But to get a physical one in the mail, I think means something still to folks. And so we just do it the old fashioned way.
And we just got a message. How much are the CDs? The CDs are $15, correct?
Well, it depends on how bad you want them. No, they're 15. They're 15.
And a little more if you want us to ship it.
Yeah, I think it's like $1.40 something.
About $3 really.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, take that into consideration if you want us to ship it to you. But like I said, it's something that we worked hard on, and we started in April. And I said, guys, we really need to do another CD. It's been 2 years. We've had some band turnover, which that's normal. In 10 years, you know, we've had really good success keeping the harmony together. Henry just wears out our banjo players. He plays so fast, you know, they just can't keep up with him. You know, that's what it is. I'll brag on him, but no, that's not true. But we've had really good musicians come and go through the years. And right now, I really enjoy sharing the stage with the current band that we got. We have a lot of fun, and we're traveling a lot coming up here this coming month, and then all the way through Christmas. We're literally playing just about every weekend, which is really good. And we're going to places we've never been. So I think that's part of the journey too. You make a lot of friends that way, going and seeing folks.
And what about, you're going to Hoboken, Georgia? That's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, in fact, coming up, the next thing we've got is up at Stevie Barr's. We're going to WBRF, and we're going to be on his show, and we're actually going to play live some of the songs. So we hope that you'll tune in for that. And then we've got a private party. We've got the Frye family reunion coming up September 1st, September 6th and 7th. We're going to be in Hoboken, Georgia. If you want to take the 7-hour drive,
Or if you're listening on the internet.
yes, you can be with us in Hoboken, Georgia.
At what festival is that?
It is the Twin Oaks Music Park September Fall Festival. It's a long name, but that's it, Twin Oaks. And it's in the middle of Georgia. It's about an hour from the Jacksonville, Florida, somewhere down there. It's past Savannah.
Close to Waycross.
Yeah, close to Waycross. And Big Country Bluegrass will be with us, the Punches, Midnight Run, and a few other groups that will be down there. So it'll be a lot of fun. And it's a lot of traditional bluegrass music. So just come and be with us at September 6th and 7th. And I could go down the list, but that'll take forever. I'll just tell you what we got in September if anything's close by. We do have coming up, the 21st will be at Radford University for the Family Day. That's for anybody. If you want to come out and listen on the lawn, they have old time and bluegrass music. It's a lot of fun. And then coming up September let's see, what's after the 21st? I know. Oh, I got it. September 27th, 28th, Wally Service Station. So we will be local for that. We'll be playing Mayberry Days. That's always fun because we get to have a lot of fun emanating and trying to be the darlings. I think a lot of the tourists think it's funny to see us out there, you know, playing some of the songs that they grew up with. So they really enjoy it and they get a kick out of it.
Well, I also want to encourage folks to like your Facebook page, because then they'll see your schedule and see the events that you have coming up at Travis, Frye, and Blue Mountain. And you can find them on Facebook.
That's the best way to reach us. We've done all the other stuff, Instagram, but I found this to be true, Jenny. If you're on so many different social media outlets, you eventually stop talking to people in person. So we've narrowed that gap down just to Facebook, because you can spend all day just being on social media rather than talking to fans. So the best way to reach us is Facebook, and we respond really quickly.
Well, I think you always do a good job at everything you do. and I'm just proud to call y'all my friends. Glad you let me join the team.
Well, I'm glad we let you let us on to take the afternoon festival or afternoon show down to a new level.
It is a festival here.
You're joining the team. Well, then in that case, you can release Cheryl on selling CDs. We'll have you selling merchandise before long.
I'll be glad to help
Right.
you. Be glad to help you. So we were going to play the third selection, which is instrumental,
You tell
right?
me. Yeah, you tell me.
No, you go ahead.
I've been talking all the time. No, go.
Danny wrote it. It's good. That's what basically. No, this is an instrumental that you know. There's like to do there's a few instrumentals on here, and Henry does some great fiddle work. Got the Black Mountain Rag, and then Panhandle Country is one of those that we all sort of join in on. This is one that you know the band didn't have its own instrumental really. Henry wrote one for the last CD. It's a great fiddle tune, and but we didn't have one named after the band. Let's put it that way. And Danny said, "I got this little tune, and I thought I'd call it the Blue Mountain Breakdown." And we played it. So it sounds pretty good. And I think we were at Prissy Polly's barbecue, and that's where we debuted that thing. And anyway, it's a great little tune. And of course, as you said, Danny came in fourth at Galax. And Danny's such a modest guy. You know, I said, I texted us, "Congratulations, Danny." He said, I didn't, I didn't deserve that. He's just a modest guy. He's a great banjo player. So we all get to take a little turn at this. It's called Blue Mountain Breakdown.
All right, let's give a listen to this.
So for those on YouTube, the ending is really hard. Danny had showed us that about 4, 5, 6, 7. He's still showing us because Danny is so good and so integral at what he does. Oh my gosh!
Because it goes
There's stops everywhere.
It's all different chords.
So we had to learn that. And
John's got it better than you.
Yeah,
John's got it down.
John's won that.
I'm faking it. I'm faking it. John's got it down.
Of course, I didn't get to hear his performance this time because it didn't broadcast it. But last year I was listening, and he was on the aired portion, and I think I texted you right away and said, "I know he's gonna win because," and he placed. I don't know what, but he's really good on the banjo.
Oh, don't forget to mention North Carolina Banjo Festival, Lorraine.
Yeah, actually, I saw Lorraine Jordan's coffee shop bus behind the chamber this afternoon. I don't know what it was doing here. She's in Seattle, Washington, so it must be somebody else from the coffee
But
shop.
don't forget to plug that because it's awful nice of Lorraine to put us on that. And Randy Graham's emailed me about some advertising stuff here at the station, so
Is that in October?
November.
November.
It's
But there's a lot of bands from this region.
Oh yeah.
yeah, Mickey Gallion's on there. Of course, Terry Balcom's on there. Sideline, Wood Family. There, Mark Templeton's on there.
Well, that'd be great. Why don't we tell people about that since we're playing something banjo? Because isn't it called
The Banjo Fest.
Banjo Fest?
Can you hand me my phone? I think I got a picture of the flyer on my phone. See the background? I got somewhere. I got a picture of the flyer.
And Henry's playing this weekend at Patrick County.
Oh, at Fiddle Fest, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing part of it. He's doing the Fiddle Fest.
This is the hard part. A lot of turns.
I see what you mean there. I don't know if I could get that right or not. Maybe 2 or 3 out of 10 times I might.
We found out how good Danny was and how little we knew. When you enter a bluegrass banjo player's mind, it's a whole nother world.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, if you're just tuning in or just joining us, we're here live with Tim and Travis Frye. Let's see, would you be 30% of Travis Frye and Blue Mountain? 25%?
40.
40%?
No.
33 and a third.
Well, there's 5 of us, so we're 40%.
Okay, good. See,
This is why we're bluegrass. This is why we're
I
radio.
know numbers. That's why I'm the treasurer.
5, 2.
Exactly. So, and a lot of the other members of your group couldn't be here today, but we're glad to have y'all and excited to be playing music. And like I was saying, we get requests for your new music, and from the bottom looking up, especially, I've had numerous requests ever since it's been out for that. And
we really appreciate the fans. I mean that. We'll definitely. Dad's got something pulled up. We'll talk about here in just a second. But we really appreciate everybody that puts up with us, because you hear us on a daily basis in the radio, and sometimes I might turn me off, so I don't know. But I appreciate y'all. Always asking the DJs to spin the music. It really does mean a lot. When we go out and play places, we really do enjoy it, and we mean it. It's not just something that we do because we have to. It's because we want to. And I'm going to share one story real quick, and it's a good story, and then I'll let Dad say this real quick about an event coming up. But when you're in bluegrass music, you find out, you know this is true, you play a lot of places you never know you would. And sometimes you get turned around and messed up, and you don't go to the right place and stuff. The reason why I bring this up is that actually happened to us, where we ended up, we were all dressed in red and black. At that time, red and black was us. You know, we did that for about 8 years, where we were in red and black. So we get to this wedding that we think we're supposed to be at, and there was the bride and groom standing out in the field, and they said, right this way, and we park our car across this big fence. We get our stuff out, bass is rolling down the hill, and we get down to where we're supposed to be, and we get it all set up, and we're looking good. I'm thinking, man, we're going to be in good shape. And I look over, and here comes the DJ. And I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm the DJ. And I said, we're the band. He said, what wedding are you planning to go to? And I said, this and this, such and such wedding. He said, you're at the wrong wedding. And so the GPS sent us there. That's where we were supposed to be. So anyway, you should have seen it. As they were doing the service, here come these red-shirted, black pant, white cowboy hat boys and girls running across the field, throwing a bass under an electric fence because we knew we were going to be late. Threw it under the fence, and our banjo player, honest to goodness, and this wasn't Danny at the time, he said, well, let's see if we can go through this fence because, you know, we don't know if it's electric. And he said, well, I'll just test it. And he grabbed the whole of the electric fence and said, no, it's good, let's go. So we get in the car,
Banjo players.
we go up the road, and the next thing we know, you know, we don't see anything, so we pull over, and it says another wedding. And I asked the guy, because I was leading the group, and I said, is this the wedding? He said, no, it ain't the wedding. I said, so there's 3 weddings in a block. Or he said about a mile. And he said, yeah. He said, now, I'm going to have to drive you out to where this wedding's at. I said, do you have the time? He said, yeah, because you won't find it. So he took his truck.
So you already went to the wrong way.
Right.
He took his truck, and he drove us around about a mile. We went through a gravel road that ended, went into a cow pasture, that ended, went into the woods. And they said, here's your spot.
It was pretty wedding.
It was a beautiful wedding. But I don't know if we can. I'll be honest with you, I don't think we could ever find that again. I don't know where that's at.
Well, the trick was GPS sent all of us, the banjo player was coming from South Carolina, sent us all to this spot where this wedding was. The problem was, the wedding we were supposed to play at was that if you went to down the hill, down the bottom of the holler, that was that wedding. It was down where the guy deer hunted. And the gentleman lives here in Mount Area. And anyway, it was where he deer hunted. But it was close enough to the other one. It was just on somebody else's land at the bottom of the hill in a holler. It was close enough GPS. It wasn't that far apart through the woods, but it was a long way around through the...
And, of course, Henry had to play, you know, Here Comes the Bride, so we're thinking, well, the bride's going to be held up because Henry ain't even there, you know. And so all I can remember is we were going down and there was dust flying everywhere, and Hunter looked, and he told me after it was all over, he said, Lord, I was so worried. I said, why? Did you think we weren't going to make the wedding? He said, no, I wasn't worried about that. He said, I was afraid my daddy was going to kill me because I got his brand new car out there in the dirt, went through a mud pie. And, I mean, you know, he was scared to death. He messed up that car.
It was interesting.
I'd say.
Sorry, that was a total tangent, but we have seen it all, but it's a lot of fun. It's good memories.
Well, and we were talking about, we just heard a banjo tune that Danny had wrote, And so that made you think of, Tim, the big banjo festival coming up, brand new inaugural event.
Right.
So tell us a little bit more about that.
This North Carolina Banjo Fest is coming up in Clemens, North Carolina. You can go online to ncbanjofest.com. That's ncbanjofest.com. And it is Friday and Saturday, November 22nd and 23rd, the weekend before Thanksgiving, in Clemens, North Carolina. This is at the Ramada Inn there in Clemens. The address, you can find that when you go online. It's 6205 Ramada Drive, Clemens. It's hosted by the Garrett Newton Band, who will be with us for the live drive at 5 in November. After this, before this event, Garrett Newton will be here. The True Grass Show with Danny Paisley, Junior Sisk, and Carolina Road. That will be on Friday. Also on Friday, Mickey Gang and Collins Bridge, Mark Templeton Band, Wood Family Tradition. Then on Saturday, we'll be there, Travis Frye and Blue Mountain, along with the Danny Stanley Band, and of course he sounds a lot like Charlie Water, and he just does. And Deeper Shade of Blue will be there on Saturday. Terry Balkins, Dukes of Drive, Lorraine Jordan, Carolina Road, Sideline, all be there on Saturday. It's $20 for Friday, $35 for Saturday, and $50 for both days. There'll be jamming around 2 banjo workshops. So if you're interested, it's 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday. It's 12 noon until 11 p.m. on Saturday. It's indoors. It'd be a great thing to do the weekend before Thanksgiving there in Clemens, the North Carolina Banjo Fest. Go online at ncbanjofest.com.
Well, I know that'll be a big doings down there, and a lot of folks from up this way, I'm sure, will want to head down to the Winston area for that. Well, Travis, what do you think? You want to play the folks another tune?
Sure, whatever you want to play. It doesn't matter to me.
I know which one Kelly likes.
Okay, well, let's do that one. What number? Because I'm not.
That'll be number 8.
Okay, number 8. And so we'll send this out to Kelly. He may be listening in.
And send this one out to Ruth and Burke Eastep. They've been with us since the very beginning of the band's formation, and they're really good folks out there, and they're listening in Kings. So Ruth and Burke will send this one to you.
Kelly always tells me we do a good job, but the other day he just particularly went up to me and said, "That voice in my save is
It is.
good." And Kelly told me that. That meant a whole lot because, I mean, he always says it's good, but he went out of his way to say that he liked that one.
It's great. I love it.
Well, we'll get out of here, Jenny. Just tell us how you want us to end it.
What, is there another one you want to play? And we'll go out on another song.
Y'all end on Panhandle.
Oh, wait, Henry has some.
Yeah, you got that old Henry. Are you ready to sing that Lonesome Feeling? Or, well,
I didn't want some feeling.
heard Preacher the Elders let John sing.
I don't need a pastor.
Well, you end with Panhandle.
Well, we've still got time. I mean, I think it's fine. Whatever you want to do, just let me know. And then we'll end with Panhandle Country. So if we want to play another one, we can do that too. Because you're only like the chief cook and bottle washer here. So I think we can do
Yeah, I am. I'm down chief cook and bottle washer next to Kelly. I even had to unstop the toilet the other day. Which proves that they aren't, these TJs aren't together. I didn't say anything, but you can fill in the blank. Hey, I texted Kelly yesterday. I said, man, I'm going here with a plunger. What's wrong with you guys?
I do really like this. This is really
Jimmy
good.
Martin. It's hard to do. It's hard to do a lot of these songs because a lot of, some of them people will remember straight after. So like with Once More stuff, we did it slower and we did it higher at the end than Oz Brothers did it. You have to make it your own. Because I mean,
And some songs just click, and that one did.
yeah, that one's always good.
Sometimes songs just.
Some of you have to work out really hard and then you get to the point where you're like, no, we just shouldn't do this.
What are you gonna do that? What do you decide what you want to do?
Whichever one.
Well, just remember to tell me. I I'll tell you what, I think that's outstanding right there, if I do say so myself. You were talking about doing cover songs, right, as we, and some folks are watching, so they're hearing our in-between talks too. But we were needing to tell you, I wanted to remind you to tell folks what you were just now telling me about doing cover songs.
You want me to do this, or you?
Go ahead.
We were just talking off the air about it. It's really daunting to do some cover songs. Now, you'll go to places, you'll get asked to do Rocky Top and Foggy Mountain Breakdown, stuff like that. But when you want to record a CD, you want to do some songs that nobody's done, or stuff that hasn't been done for a very, very long time. And so some of the things like Home Run Man or Don't Let Me Cross Over, Black Mountain Rag for a bluegrass band is really unusual. Sam and Kirk McGee, of course, have a great recording of that, but you have to be different. And if that's one thing I can preach is we don't sound like anybody else because we just sound like us. We're just doing us. And I would encourage anybody that's playing bluegrass, just do you. Don't be Tony Rice. They're great. Don't be Lonesome River Band. They're great. Just be yourself. And if you can gain some licks from Tony Rice, or if you can get some stuff from Sammy Sheila on the banjo, that's all well and good. But I think you have to be true to yourself and what you like. That really propels you as an artist. That's what sets you apart. I think that's sometimes what we forget is we try so hard in the studio to sound perfect. But bluegrass was never meant to sound perfect. It's like Bill Monroe used to say. He's like, well, if the mandolin's out of tune, it just makes it sound like there's more of us. Now, I don't encourage you to be out of tune, but I do encourage you to be original. And if you're going to take a song that you're going to do, kind of like Home Run Man or Panhandle Country, something like that, you want to put your own flavor to it, because you're going to be measured up to whatever the Osmond Brothers did or John Duffy did, and most of the time people will like the originals better than they do the covers. So if you have original material, I would say do a CD of originals first, because that reflects your artistic takes. But if you're set on doing cover songs, I would say put your own flair to them. So as I was talking to Dad about it off the air, we did Once More. Well, everybody knows that the Osmond Brothers did Once More. It's been covered and covered and covered. However, we wanted to do something different with it, so we slowed it down really slow. And then at the end, we changed the progression of the chords to make it work, I think, and make it sound different. So I think that's what you got to do, is you got to make it sound different if you're going to do it, but make sure you're showing yourself that you're doing it and reflecting, your growth. I think every artist is continually growing. Every time I listen to Larry Sparks, I think he gets better and better. He can't get much better on the guitar, but every time I hear him, he's always himself. He doesn't sound like anybody else. I can always pick out if it's Don Reno, Red Smiley, or if it's Del McCoury, and it's not just because of their voice. It's because of their music and the way they set up a song and the way they preach the song. It's like I was telling Eddie Gill and Tommy Sales. I said, that CD that you've got that's brand new, that's just out, it sounds so different. The whiskey or the coal. I have to give credit for that, because when Eddie says you've got 3 stills of your own, he's like upset about it. He's mad at that police officer for saying that. And so, you put the passion in, you put the drive in. I think bluegrass has to have a drive. I think it has to speak from the heart. And I think, whether the studio captures that or not, that's up to you. And I think being your own sound is the most important thing you can do for yourself. It may not sound great to you, but somebody else might like it.
The authenticity of people is what cuts through when so many other things is the same and the same and the same. Just like Ralph used to say, why do I want to be just like everybody else when I could be different and be myself? Well, it's truer words.
Even Johnny Cash, when he first started, he got kicked around a lot because it didn't sound like anything else, and they didn't know if he could make it. They said, why don't you play faster? He said, we could if we. He said we would if we could, but that gave him that trained sound. I think a lot of, and that's the same way with us. You know, we're just a hard driving bluegrass band that really don't sound like anything else. I know Dad's mandolin work doesn't sound like anything like anybody else.
Nobody wants to sound like that.
No. That's not true at all. But I mean, you know, we all add to the bluegrass music, and I think that's the main thing. Whether you're a traditional band, which I enjoy, or you're a contemporary band, I think you all have a common ground of originality and, you know, meeting in the center. I think that's what it's all about. So I applaud everybody out there for doing what they want to do. At least you're original. You know, that's the main thing.
Well, that's one way to look at it. Tim, you want to add something before we?
Yeah, I've talked so much.
Yeah, I think we need to play a song.
Okay.
We're gonna play, Travis. Let's play a song here, and then I'll talk.
You pick. I picked the last one. I did the last one.
Now we got.
Oh no, you didn't. I did voice myself. You did voice.
Yeah, I did voice. Is there one?
I don't know which
hear?
one never gets played.
Well, now "Don't Let Me Cross Over" hasn't been played.
Well, let's not on that one. That might make me cry.
All right, so that's a one that I had been singing for a while out live, and I've been faking it. I told Travis it's too high. And for me, because I spend all day going, this is WPAQ AM, so, you know, and then this song was way up here, and I was faking it the whole time, so we got in the studio, and he found out. Dad was faking it the whole time. Dad cannot reach those notes. And I saw Wesley Easter walk out of the room after I tried singing it a few times. I thought, he's going to let Travis tell me you can't do this song. I knew that's what Wes was doing, and so
we had already recorded all of the music,
yeah,
so we had to sing it. Somebody had to sing it.
Everything had been recorded, and so Travis goes, "Dad, you know, I said I can't sing this song. I told you I couldn't sing this song.
So what do you do after you spent 3 hours in the studio?
We spent this time. We got everything. I looked at him. I said, "Your voice is higher, but you're gonna have to sing this song." And he said, "I've never sung this song." I said, "Well, we're going to have to teach it to you." And so he went through it one time. Second time he sung it, and that was it. So now Travis is singing the song. So,
well, I think we already hear that one.
I think we ought to hear it.
Yeah,
what number is that? It is number 11. This is Carl and Pearl Butler number.
And let it be known, that was the second time I had sung that song. Okay, that's the second. That's the second cut. They let me run through it one time for a scratch vocal, and that's the second time.
Okay, well, let's all get out our notepads and make notes about how good Travis does on the second take of this song. Travis.
I'm serious.
The only thing I sing lead on is the chorus. And I told him I've been faking that song, Travis. I said, it's too high for me. When we got through, West said, if you'd done it in D, you could have sung it. I said, yeah, but we did it in G. And
when you spend all the money, I mean, you know, there's a lot of money that goes into these CDs. I mean, we're talking like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And when you get to the point where you've recorded 2 hours just the music, and you get to that point where they say, okay, he can't sing the song. Well, what do? You got to have somebody to sing the song.
I kept telling him I was faking this thing.
But it was such a good song, and nobody does it.
Well, I think it's great. I would have never known it was on the second time.
There's one other version of it I've seen. It's the Chapmans.
I think maybe Dale Ann Bradley has done this song at one time or another.
I've heard the Chapmans, though.
The Chapmans have done it. But I was in Nashville before Travis was born, and we were at Ernest Tubbs Record Shop, me and Cheryl. It was probably early 80s. And I was looking through 45 songs, and I looked over, and I pulled one out, and I said, come on, we're leaving. She said, what? I said, come on, we're going right now. And so what we did, we went to the checkout counter, and Carl Butler was standing there. And I bought Don't Let Me Cross Over by Carl and Pearl Butler.
Oh,
and I said, Mr. Butler, would you mind signing? Well, sure. And he talked and everything. He signed it and everything. So I got an autograph.
That's awesome.
Got an autograph.
Totally.
Say, hey, Nikki, you're on YouTube.
Hey, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki. Travis's wife. My daughter-in-law. My favorite daughter-in-law. My only daughter-in-law. So that's the only thing about being the only one. You're the best and you're the worst.
Well, I think you did a real good job on that, Travis.
So listen how high that is, though. When he goes, cheat, dear salad, and my voice, son.
It's a pretty high song. G songs have always been hard for me to sing. I don't know why. Tenor on a G, I don't like it.
Sometimes it's pitched really high.
I guess that's it. I can
Who's
see
singing the low part there?
Henry.
Henry.
Oh, okay.
He's got that baritone going, boy.
Okay.
But for some reason, G has just never been my. B, I can sing. F, C.
Well, B
G.
is the bluegrass key. F is the love key. Love songs in
I
there.
love song. We do one
It's
in there,
true.
that one you wrote. Haven't done it in a long time.
But yeah, G is just. Unless you're just lead singing it, you know, honey, you don't know my mind or something like that, then that ain't too bad.
So when we're coming back, what's the last number for Panhandle Country? Is it
13 is the last one.
That's what we're gonna play last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you don't talk much and let her get another one in.
That's fine with me. I don't have to.
If you do either Lonesome Feeling or Prayer Bells lets John and Henry both get lines in.
Well, let me have that one. What number's that? Number 5.
Prayer Bells.
You want to do that one? Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to talk. I mean, well, we can. Since
Just go straight to it.
He can't. She can't.
It's
sing.
backwards. Well, I can, but I can. Okay, I'll do that. Well, Travis, I'll give you a 4 out of 5 stars for that song, that performance on take 2. Don't let me cross.
No golden buzzer though.
I thought you did good. I couldn't tell that you hadn't practiced it a whole lot, so I thought that was
Practice
great.
it all.
Well, I thought it was good. And right now we're going to hear a good gospel tune off of Emanating Tradition from Travis Frye and Blue Mountain.
Oh wait, John gets to sing a little, Henry gets to sing a little.
Okay.
I'm glad old John's singing, son.
He's so nervous. He gets nervous when he sings.
He does a great job.
It's just he's never had the chance to sing.
He hadn't?
No, he's never had a chance. He sings at church,
Yeah.
but
Well,
we're finally getting him to sing out in public.
But John wants to do it right.
Yeah.
He wants to do it right, and I appreciate that. And he's a good boy. I'll tell you what, these guys in the band,
Probably the best.
they're just great guys. They really, because we've always had great people in the band.
We've always had good players and good people.
Hersey, Hersey helped us out for two years there. Well, I don't know what we'd have done if Hersey hadn't helped us out. Playing banjo and everything. So he's,
Let's see.
well, you've had at least 5 banjo players.
Rebecca, Hunter,
Terry,
Hersey.
Hersey,
Terry and
Terry.
Hersey in between. And then
Danny. Yeah, at least 5. And then Tim White's played with us. He played with us one
Yeah.
time.
I'm trying to think who else. We've had Tommy Nichols play bass.
Yeah, Tommy's played bass. We've had Johnny Ridge play fiddle with us several times.
Oh, yeah. At Mountain Man 2 years ago.
3 years Johnny Ridge played
Nick
fiddle with us.
McMillan's played bass. for
Nick
us.
played bass with us back in the early days. Henry never heard him play bass.
Oh.
Remember that? And the first time old Nick started, Henry looked around and he was like, "Whoa,
Rick
that's
Allred.
good."
Rick Allred.
Yeah, Rick's played banjo with us. Rick Allred played banjo with us. We were going to Radford. I said, "Who'd you get to play banjo with?" "Oh, you probably know him." Travis didn't tell me who was going to fill in because Hersey couldn't make it. I said, "Well, who is the guy there?" It was Tim White.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He was
Great.
sick as a dog that day, bless his heart.
Oh,
He
no.
came on and did it.
Well,
Tim's like that. If he tells you to do it, he'll do it. But I was surprised Johnny Ridge, said yes and come on and played with us. And, he plays for the Malchus brothers all the time,
Oh,
Bass
yeah.
Mountain Boys. And
I don't think who else. There's been more.
The guy that plays fiddle with
Oh,
us.
Trey Wellington.
Yeah, Trey Wellington played banjo with us one time.
Gosh, there's been a lot of people.
Plays with, yeah, we go through banjo players.
Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, that is a great job there. Let's see. You know what? Let's stop that right there and back that off for just a moment. And we're going to close things out. I've really enjoyed it, and I think that
Thank you for having us, Jenny.
all the folks listening will greatly enjoy your CD, and I know that they enjoy your other music that we play as well on WPAQ. It's been a pleasure, and I just look forward to seeing you in the future. good things happening for Travis Frye and Blue Mountain, and excited about all your upcoming dates that you have and your new CD. And also, I want to throw this out there because I meant to say it earlier. Looking at the cover, there are a few unidentified people on this.
That's true.
So
Right.
maybe if someone picks up this CD, they'll say, oh, well, I know who that is. So get in touch with us and let us know, because we don't have the names of all the folks, and we would like to. This is a long, long time ago, almost 70 years ago this photo was taken, and so we would love to identify some of the folks that are there at the Wpaq Theater.
Right, and we've as we close things out, we've talked about Danny and John joining the band and everything. But I want to tell you something. Old Henry Mabe, I made music with Henry when we were in the Carolina Travelers. I started making music with Henry Mabe probably 25 years ago. And he's still Henry. He's so much fun to be around. Great baritone singer, great fiddle player, and he tickle you to death.
He's our class clown.
Yes,
Hey, don't
he
let
is.
him fool you. He'll
Yeah.
look at you straight in the eye and tell you something, and then just smile. We have been. I don't want
We're running out of time.
but I will say this: we have had so many fun times, and he has been my road buddy through 10 years. He's always been there. And he's one of the original members of the band. We went to Nashville, and that was when we went. That was the year of puns. I don't know what it was, but we just created so many puns. He had went through a bird storm, and his car was rolling.
We were going to meet Kyle Cantrell. We were going out to eat with Kyle Cantrell, and Henry said, "I'm gonna have to stop and go through a car wash." I said, "Well, Henry, we're running late. We got to meet Kyle Cantrell." And he goes, "Have you seen my car?" I said, "No, come around." I went around. He says, "I'm riding in a septic tank, Tim. Look at these birds." You could not have taken a water hose, filled it full of bird dew, and sprayed a car and got it any more. He had to turn on the windshield wipers to see. I mean, that's no lie. He said, "Tim, I'm riding in a septic tank."
It must just have been that type of weekend, because when they got to the room, they were checking into the hotel. They heard something running when they opened the door. Well, little did they know the toilet was hung before they even got there. Toilet was hung, and it was starting to run out through the floor. And Linda goes, "What are we going to do?" Henry said, "Open the door and let her roll." That's Henry in a nutshell. We could tell you so much more, but he's one of the best guys in the business, and he will show you everything he knows. And he didn't learn. All these. He does everything just by memory and by sound. He can learn a song, play a song. He doesn't read music, but he's one of the best. He's actually a 3-time North Carolina State fiddle champion, which I think is really impressive.
Right. Well, we got to get out.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Well, it's been a pleasure. And speaking of fiddling, let's hear a real good fiddle tune from Fiddlin' Henry Mabe, and it closes things out on the CD, Emanating Tradition from Travis Frye and Blue Mountain.
And of course, emanating comes from Ralph Epperson. He
right.
taught us that word.
He taught us that word, didn't he? That's exactly right. And so right now we'll close things out on this special interview with Travis Frye and Blue Mountain. And as well as things on the afternoon show, stay tuned for Sundown Serenade coming up with you until 8:15 tonight. But until then, right here is Panhandle Country.
Thank you, Jennie.
That's great.
We could have told about him chambering one at the Wendy's.
Yeah. Henry would just say things that tickle you to death, and be just as serious as he could be. I mean,
Yeah, he's real
Well,
dry. That's
he
for sure.
he can just get you so.
He still reminds Nikki. We were going to jam. Nikki did not want to go at all. And so when he asked her, he said, "Nikki, are you going to go?" She goes, "No, I'm not going at all." And he said, "Okay." So she finally got in the car with us. We drove up there, and that's when Rhonda Vincent got off the Opry and actually played with us and did a jam session. So every now and then he'll look at her and goes, "Are you going or not at all?" he'll still tell her that.
Yeah, thanks to Rhonda Vincent. And your mom was the cause of that. She grabbed Rhonda and said, "Would you play with my son and my husband?" And Rhonda goes, "Sure."